As a student here, life is not always the easiest. School gets on you, and you can get down. But just having like a community of people, fellow believers, and students to just kind of back you and pick you up when things are rough, it's super helpful. Just them encouraging you to continue following God and continue following after what He has for you. And so yeah, I think the community is just a really important thing as a student.
Well, my name is Jason Yarnell. I'm the campus minister here at the Northwest BSU. I came to Northwest as a student, a transfer student in 1996, and it's a long story, but throughout the course of my time, began to really follow Jesus in my life, felt a burden and a call to college ministry, and so I went through the process of applying for the job, but I was hired as the campus minister here in the fall of 2001. And I've been here ever since, leading the ministry. God has worked in my life, in the BSU, in more ways than I know or could list. And so the BSU has been the single most impactful thing in my life. This was where I recommitted my life to Christ. This is where I learned what it actually looks like to follow Jesus. This is where I got to serve and I got to try things. Sometimes my wife and I joke that college ministry is kind of like a laboratory where you get to go and blow stuff up. You get to try things. And this is the first place that I got to preach and discover that was a gifting that God had given me. This is where I met my wife, which is really the single greatest impacting thing, apart from Jesus drawing me to Himself. The single biggest impact of my life is Karen. It's almost to the point where I can't necessarily even distinguish where my life ends or begins and where the BSU ends and begins. It's really, especially the fact that I work with Karen here, it's just, this is our life.
I meet with Jason once a week because I'm on leadership at the BSU, and so once a week we just sit down and just talk through life and what's going on, and then go into like what we've been reading for the week in the Bible and how can that apply to our lives, not just like what does it mean back then, but like what does it mean for us now. And so that's really cool. But yeah, they just orchestrate everything to work well here, and any activities that we're gonna have, they plan it out, make sure it's ready, and then when students come, it's just a time of hanging out and doing whatever's planned, and they just keep that rolling super well. It's just a great place of community, and yeah, we talk about God and we talk about the gospel and what Jesus is about, which is super important. It's the reason we're here, but ultimately we're here to help grow people and lead them towards Jesus, yes, but do what we can to help them. So if that means, praying for somebody, lifting them up and whatever is going on in their lives, yes. If that means just hanging out with them, being a listening ear for anything that's going on, then sure, we can do that. We're here to help people. We're not here to shove the gospel down your throat or make you listen to all the Bible stories in the world. We're here to listen to you and what's going on in your life and see how we can fit that into what God has for you.
If we're going to reach people, our students have to do that. And students have access to, every student has a major, eventually, right? But every student has classes, every student, has a place where they live, every student has things that they're interested in, and all those things are mission field. And so our goal is to invest in students so students can go and do the ministry, so students can take the message, so students can invest in other students. And so we're never going to reach the campus without our students.
That encourages me to just continue to be a light to others, because you never know who you're going to impact. Someone could just randomly come up to you and be like, hey, I heard you go to the BSU, tell me more about it, and that could change their lives forever. So my favorite part of the BSU is probably the community that I established here. I never really had that back home, just a group of believers my own age, and so coming here and finding that was awesome, and it impacted my life forever.
I know a lot of students personally who came to Northwest and definitely had a rough go at the start, which happens. If you're not plugged in somewhere, you don't have friends, you don't have people to go to, just to take out whatever's going on in your life, talk through things. It can be super rough, but I've seen the community at the BSU and God just working through the individuals here to really just build those people up and just encourage them, show them that life isn't all about school and isn't all about just like the bad things, but that the good things in life are important and that God blesses us with so much more than we realize.